I'm here with Patrick Neville, Representative, and we are going to talk about the third rail of this political cycle that few elected officials want to touch unless they get zapped. Election integrity should be one of our party's top priorities. Yet, establishment Republicans and Democrats want to avoid this issue. Patrick and I want you to have the truth. The truth may be disturbing, uncomfortable to bear, and even problematic. But only when the truth is told can solutions to problems be properly screened and then enacted. Such is the case with securing our very vulnerable election process here in our great state.
We have several bills on election integrity that will be heard this Monday, February 14th, starting at 1:30. If this was a losing issue for Republicans like the establishment and Democrats say, I want you to ask yourself this question. Why would the Democrats schedule these hearings on the night of Valentine's Day?
Here are some of the bills that will be heard. Let's start with the bad and move toward the good. The first bill will make it illegal to have a weapon in polling locations even if you have a concealed carry permit. Tell me your concerns and objections to House Bill 1086, the Vote Without Fear Act.
This bill will leave our citizens defenseless in polling locations. I was a student at Columbine High School in 1999. I was there that day. My school was a gun-free zone. My friends were killed in a gun-free zone. An overwhelming majority of mass killings occur in a gun-free zone.
This bill is another attempt by the Democrats not just to suppress voters from our side of the political aisle, but much like the red flag laws here in Colorado, this bill is designed to be yet another subtle step toward gutting your Second Amendment rights of self-defense and defense against potential government tyranny.
You are exactly right. This is why establishment Republicans are joining in that chorus. Establishment Republicans would like nothing more than to have the conservatives stay home, especially in primary elections, so they can vote for true conservatives like you, Bill.
Hey, thanks. Hey, tell us about a good bill, House Bill 1044. Expand vacancy committee selection. What does that mean?
This is the first of 4 good bills we will hear. Notice how the one bill they want to pass is up first, all the others are behind it.
Oh.
They're hoping you are spending your Valentine's Day with your loved one and that you won't be able to testify in favor of the other 4 bills. This bill simply makes sure we have a broader range of participation in the event a legislator resigns or dies in office. While my vacancy committee bylaws already reflect this language, some representatives have a small vacancy committee of less than 10 people. I trust the people in my district and trust they will choose Bill Jack to replace me. So I think this is a good bill.
Gone are the days when candidates were chosen by elite party members in smoke-filled back rooms during conventions. Yet because people in power always want more control, the threat of backroom clandestine deals being cut still lingers in the shadows. This bill shines light on that threat should someone die or leave office early. For example, I have a former student who is now the youngest state senator in Washington because the sitting state senator died suddenly. The county committee, consisting of less than 7 Republicans under a time crunch, had to choose a replacement. Now, I think they chose the right person for the job, but the local Republican community had little, if any, say in that emergency process. That gives the impression of lack of transparency and pure political manipulation. We need to avoid that pitfall here in Colorado. Another piece of legislation that will help secure our elections is House Bill 1078, Voting Systems Standards Adoptions. What's that?
This bill simply says that our voting equipment should meet or exceed the standards promulgated by the Federal Election Commission.
If we have the gold standard in voting, as the Secretary of State says, and even some Republicans tout, I say let's assay the gold to determine if it's 24 karat, 18 karat, or fool's gold. Transparency and security in the election process matters for the future of our children. Let's move on to House Bill 1084, Ineligible Jurors Voter Registration.
So about a month ago, we ran an amendment on the House floor saying that illegal aliens should not be able to vote. Democrats, along with establishment Republicans, defeated this amendment. This bill simply states that a person who reports as ineligible to serve on a jury should be taken off the voter rolls.
Makes sense. Simple voting laws. Without proof of citizenship, voter rolls are not secure. Our citizens' right to vote is not just weakened, but in essence nullified unless we are able to purge our voter rolls of those who have died, moved, or even those who are ineligible to serve on juries. This should not be even necessary to address, but it has become so due to the tactics of the left to undermine our citizens' rights. The final bill on this issue that will be considered Monday is House Bill 1085, Paper Ballot Fraud Countermeasures.
This bill is another common sense measure that requires us to have fraud countermeasures on the paper ballots that are issued to voters. Things like watermarks, weighted paper with unique designs, and anti-copy features.
Mail-in ballots that are not secured against counterfeit measures make voter fraud and manipulation much easier as technology advances. A friend of mine is a member of the Screen Actors Guild of America, a very liberal organization, obviously. She told me that their recent national election of officials was done by paper ballot only, with collection and counting of the ballots scrupulously recorded and monitored nationwide by cameras over Zoom. When one member suggested during the process just doing the vote electronically, the objection immediately was, we can't do that because that opens a possibility of fraud. And at SAGA, we must avoid even the appearance of fraud. Paper ballots guarantee integrity. One of the most liberal organizations in America won't allow for anything other than paper ballots because of the concerns of election integrity. Unfortunately, mail-in ballots are now the norm here in Colorado. The least we can do is secure against easy counterfeiting of those ballots.
Except for the first bill being run by Democrats, all of these bills are measures that will improve election integrity. The liberal media will try to say these are crazy ideas, but as you can see, these common sense measures that voters will embrace. Establishment Republicans are scared of the liberal media, so they want to avoid talking about these issues. Democrats, on the other hand, realize that these are popular ideas, so they want to kill these ideas while you are spending Valentine's Day with your loved one, hoping no one will notice.
Thank you, Patrick, for bringing these issues before your constituents. If you would like to testify on these bills, they will be heard starting at 1:30 this Monday, February 14, in the Old State Library, room 271 on the second floor. These last four bills are common sense bills that will help assay the so-called gold standard of elections here in Colorado. Transparency and common sense laws that secure our liberties in Colorado have been the hallmark of Representative Patrick Neville's tenure at the Capitol. I want to continue serving you with that same commitment and boldness as he has done. Please attend your precinct caucus March 1, become a delegate at the State Assembly, and vote for me, Bill Jack. Bill Jack for ColoradoHouse.com. Thank you.